question can be broken down into two parts. Was it a fake slap? And two, was it a real slap that was part of an orchestrated moment? I'm convinced that the answer to both of these is no, it's real. But you have two parts to that. You have the technical perspective and the storytelling perspective.
Let's get on to the was it, wasn't it, was it real moment from the Oscars last night when Will Smith, being very offended by what Chris Rock had to say about his wife, Jada, decided to take to the stage.
I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that noise you heard was a slap that Will Smith administered to Chris Rock. The joke was about Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith's alopecia. Well, Twitter users have been speculating over whether the slap was real or whether the whole thing was set up and designed to increase viewings and speculation and talk about the Oscars. Well, we are about to set the record straight officially. Rob Myles is an advanced actor competent who knows his stuff when it comes to throwing fake punches. Rob, good afternoon to you.
Hi there, thank you so much for having me.
Should we get straight to business? Do you think it was real or not?
Yes, it was real, 100%.
Okay, now tell me
why. We can break the question down further than that, but it was definitely real.
Okay, so tell me why. Tell me what this convincing statement from you is based on.
Sure thing. Experience and storytelling are the two things, really. The question can be broken down into two parts. Was it a fake slap? And two, was it a real slap that was part of an orchestrated moment? I'm convinced that the answer to both of these is no, it's real. But you have two parts to that. You have the technical perspective and the storytelling perspective. So when we're devising violence for the stage or screen, we start with the storytelling. What story are we telling here? In a fight, someone wins and someone loses. Here, everybody lost. The story that got told in this altercation was two men.
Apart from the Oscars, the Oscars did not lose from this moment.
I'm not entirely sure I agree with that. I understand the social media theory that all engagement is good engagement, but I think it has besmirched the name of the Oscars and what it is that they're trying to focus on. And I'll tell you for why. When this altercation happened, it was about two men taking a woman's very real pain and making it about themselves. And in the process, they took away Jada's agency and how she was going to respond to that moment in the communication had this not happened. Chris Rock lost face. He did so because he made a joke that punches down. He tried to get a cheap laugh at the expense of a real condition. Just over a week ago, there's a 12-year-old called Rio Maria Allred who committed suicide because she was bullied at school because of her alopecia. So it's a real thing. And the joke that he made was a failure of integrity in that sense. Will Smith's slap was a failure of integrity. He was trying to bridge that kind of lack of ability to respond, I suppose, but he did so in a kind of classically toxically masculine way, and it didn't really achieve what he set out to achieve. So he lost face as well. And then obviously it's brought even more highlight to Jada's condition, which is regrettable for her too. The Oscars, meanwhile, this is an event that's supposed to celebrate people, and it didn't. This is the ugly side of life.
Okay.
And I think if you're creating an event that's designed to celebrate, this does not do that in any conceivable way.
So the storyline doesn't fit that it's fake.
For me, it doesn't. Okay. These are actors, not reality TV people.
Okay. The technical aspect of this. Now, there are a couple of things here. I thought initially that it was fake because you could hear the sound of someone slapping their side whilst they're moving their arm, but actually Will Smith doesn't. His other hand is in vision all the time. The other argument that is floating around is that Chris Rock is anticipating this on his face, and when it's a real life slap, you don't anticipate it. You're taken by surprise. So challenge me on both those.
Sure thing. Yeah, absolutely. So there is another theory, which is that Chris Rock has both of his hands behind his back. So he could have given a clap behind his back, but he's got an envelope in his hand and that would have affected the sound. Also, if you do what's called a nap, which is where you slap your thigh or something similar like that, Zoom may filter this, but if you do it, you get a much different sound than the muffled kind of thumpy quality of the sound that we heard through Chris Rock's lapel mic. So it seems to me that the contact did come from a source that was near to the lapel mic itself, and that the reason that that sound is muffled is because his clothes were getting in the way. So it was a contact slap. In terms of Chris Rock anticipating it, when we throw a slap, or when we throw any kind of move in a kind of screen combat sense, you show people what you're going to hit them with. And we do that to help you anticipate and time your reaction accordingly. So you do what's called a prep, you bring it up nice and clear, and then you throw the slap. Will brings the slap in from shooting from the hip. He brings it up and across, and it seems that he pivots the hips and actually pushes through Chris's face, which is why the sound is that little bit more deadened, rather than coming out from the side and round, which gives you more of that kind of whip crack sound effect. So if they were manufacturing the sound in person, using their bodies, using a nap, as we call it, something like that, we would have been able to see it, we would have been able to tell. And if it was added in post, it would have been impossible to synchronize because the sound guy would have used that prep as well, and it simply wasn't there.
Okay, all right. So technically it works. I've had a message in here from Liz, and she says it looks like a theatre slap, which is what I thought initially. The way he moves his head, the sound we hear, it cannot be fake. It's not. But the actual slap is super weird. So how would you grade this slap?
Yes, absolutely. I would grade it probably, if it was a stage slap, I'd grade it 0 out of 10.
Okay.
Because you never actually make contact when you're doing stage combat on a theatre stage, because it's too dangerous. If you miscalculate even slightly, you can give someone a palm heel to the jaw, and that can dislocate the jaw or loosen teeth. If you go a bit too high, you can cause a perforated eardrum or another serious injury. That's another easy reason that it's not fake, is that the Oscars would have had to get insurance for something like this, which would qualify as a stunt, and the amount of money that would cost is eye-watering. So you simply don't do it. What you do is called crossing the line. And this is why I think people feel like it could have been fake, is that there is an imaginary line between the camera and the face of the person that's being impacted, and the slap crosses that line, crosses across the face, and that gives the illusion of impact. Whereas if I do it in profile, you can see that there's about 6 inches of space between me and the hand. So that's how it's kind of technically achieved. And the camera is positioned perfectly for Will's slap to cross the line. His hand does pass in front of Chris Rock's face as a consequence of doing it. But of course, the reason why we fake it that way is because it looks real. So there's no surprise that a real slap would conform to the expectations of what a good theatre slap.
Okay, so it only looks fake because it's real.
Yes, because the fake ones are done well to imitate the real.
Okay, it is a real slap done badly. No, anyway,
it's a real slap done
weirdly,
out of strength of feeling, in an unplanned way. And if you had rehearsed it, you could nail the quality of the slap to make it look better. But that wasn't what happened. It was a one and done. And if you see actors in rehearsal, the first time they do it, it's not the best. So
all right,
I think it's more evidence that this is a real spontaneous
There
moment.
we go. Our listeners can let us know what they think. Rob Myles, an advanced actor and competent coach who knows his stuff, of course, when it comes to fake punches. Thanks so much for joining us, Rob.